I'm pretty sure the pattern will be there. You just stand it up again. I will get my...
Your bag might work actually.
Yeah, I will do. Let me just get my iPad out because I'm going to need my iPad to save messing that about.
You always want to put it in line with the feet line or the ball line?
I would always go in between the feet and the ball line, really. I think that should be about right.
Yeah. Nice.
Good. Okay, so let's get you hitting.
So just don't think, just hit.
Just take your time with it. Yeah, don't rush it. Try and make really good swings, the best you can. So again, there's that kind of slappy one. Yeah. And obviously distance then is massively compromised because obviously the strike goes down. Sound a bit
just
better.
a bit thin.
Yeah.
It definitely caught it nicely.
Yeah.
I felt like I compacted the ball a lot better.
Yep.
But it's obviously a bit of a right slice on.
Nice swing there. Okay, just hit a couple more for me.
Yeah.
Good. So, obviously, apart from the slight miscontact, when you've played recently, have you been seeing that pulley one still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just lost balls off the tee. If there's anything that outbounds on the left, I tend to just override. Yeah, it's truly frustrating.
Okay.
And then so you don't get the next ball out and it goes right.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's not those 6 shots there. The first one was a bit slappy. Second one was a bit thin, and then there was a couple of fairly good strikes there. And to be fair, that's actually pretty solid. Just want to show you a couple of things, which I'll bring up on the big screen here, so you can see it. So if I take the average of all those shots there, so the first thing for me is the club is actually travelling quite nicely into out. It's not massively underneath you. It's only 1.3 degrees from in to out, and if I jump into the individual data, you're 2 degrees into out, 2 degrees into out, 1.4 into out, 1 degree into out, 1 degree, 0.1 into out. You're delivering the club quite nice. That there is a good delivery. I wouldn't say the club is getting stuck behind you on the downswing. It might be different with the woods. But with the iron, you actually, and I saw this in the fitting, you were delivering the club really nicely. The big issue for me though, if I just bring up that club data again. Yeah. So you're hitting a long way down into it, like a long way down. Okay. Now we want to hit down into an iron, but maybe not to the extent of 7 degrees. Okay, because the problem is that's then going to get the launch of the golf ball low, which it is. 15 degrees is very low launch. For a 7 iron, we look sort of 19, ideally.
I definitely feel like I never, very rarely, I hit the ball quite fat a lot.
Yes.
And then I feel like I never have any type of follow through on the ground after.
Correct. Yeah, no, you're 100%. And I think we just got to look at a couple of things here. The first is, look at your strike locations. So you see your strike locations are quite low.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a couple which are quite bottomy here. Now that's, again, if you're hitting quite a long way down, you're going to promote hitting the bottom of that club quite a bit. Okay.
Where's the optimum bit on the club you want to do?
Well, ideally the midline. The midline, the equator of the club.
Yeah.
What's that? That's probably going to be 4 or 5 grooves up on the face. That's where we want to strike the ball. And you have one there which came out quite nicely. But the problem is, if you mistime it, whilst hitting 7 degrees down, you're either going to thin it off the bottom or you're going to fat it, which is where you get the horrible kind of chunky one from. So we've got to get you effectively letting the club head move a little bit freer, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. But the thing that goes in tandem with this is where the club face is. So those shots there weren't particularly bad shots,
but on an average, we're about 2.5 degrees open in your club face.
I feel like the club is like this in my hands. Like when I try and put it more normal, it feels so weird. Or I think I'm holding it like this.
Yeah.
But when I try and put it like
Square.
it feels like the club is almost like a triangle.
Like tilted outwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that it's cause and effect. So what you're doing, I'll explain in a second, but you're making a movement that is making you hit down almost too much, but then mostly holding the face open. Now, like you said, if you get danger on the right, chances are you'll make a last minute adjustment and then turn it over left and pull it. So again, if I just have a quick little look at your club face on those individual shots you've hit there, we know that a few were good, a few went to the right. So 4.6 degrees open.
Yeah.
So that's held open a long way relative to your target. That was pretty good. Miles open again.
Yeah.
Pretty good, pretty good. But it only takes a bit of danger on that right hand side,
Yeah.
and this becomes closed.
Yeah.
So you end up pulling it.
And what do we want the face at 0 or?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all relative to your club path. So if I bring up the face to path, so we'd want this number to be as close as possible to 0.
Yeah.
So basically, just quick show you. So if you were to do the maths in between those,
Yeah.
that's your face to path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not always about getting your club face square to the target. It's making sure that the face to path number
Yeah.
becomes as close as you can to 0. So shots 1, 2, and 4 there. They've probably actually only gone not that far offline. Yeah, 0.3 of a degree, 1.4 yards. Sorry, 0.3 yards, 1.4 yards, 2.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.7. So you can see that when you get your face to path number better, that's when you hit your straighter shots. So there's two things we've got to do here today to start off with the irons, but it translates into the driver. You've got to get you hitting down a little less.
Yeah.
So still hitting down, but hitting down not 7 degrees, hitting down more. You can see here, average was 7.7, but you had 6.6, 8.1, 8.17. That's 2 down. It's too much down.
Okay.
But that's why the face control's not the best, and also the contact. Okay. So the way we're going to do this is through impact. You've gone very much that way. So if you look at my like lean of the shaft, it impacts. You want to lean the shaft through the ball slightly. But where you are, you're there.
Okay.
So the club path, as we said, is travelling quite good. The
Yeah.
club's travelling on a nice trajectory in regards to direction, but it's travelling too much down because the handle is getting too much in front.
Yeah.
Now if I do that, if I push the hands forward there, it only takes a little bit to move the hands there, and move the hands there, to shut or open the face. Okay. Ideally, what we want is as the club comes down, we want a slight amount of shafting, so hands slightly in front of the ball,
Yeah.
but nothing crazy like you are. That's going to get the angle of the angle of attack into the ball
Yeah.
less, so it's going to become a little bit more kind of picky. But what it should do is it should get the ball coming slightly higher off the face.
Okay.
It should get the launch up, should allow you to control the face angle a little bit better. Okay. So if you just set yourself up there, I'm just going to change the colour of the dots here. So what I want you to do is I just want you to take a couple. So set yourself up where you feel comfortable for me. Okay, good. So just swing that club just a little bit back, sort of halfway back, just a little bit more than that. Okay, so on the way down, let's imagine that you're making your downswing. I want you to feel like the club head starts to release a little bit that way.
Okay.
So you're not dragging the hands too far that way, because that's going to hit down, you're going to catch it low off the face, or if you drag the hands forward and hit the ground, you're going to fat it. So as you start to let the club come into the ball, you want to let the club head start to release.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I think the reason I've been doing this is
Yep.
I'm so cautious that the club face is just going here, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep the club in, so I think I've been dragging the hands.
Maybe a little bit, maybe a little
I
bit.
just feel like every time I watch my swing back, I'm just like, and the club is like here.
Yeah,
and going
there you
down.
go. But you've got to remember, you've got to take a lot of confidence in that your club path, the second down on the right, is
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
quite neutral. So now we've got scope to start to square that face off
Yeah.
and let the club head do what it's got to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what I expect by doing this is I should see the launch go up to 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
I should see the ball flight go a little higher. I should see a bit more spin on the ball because you're going to catch it higher off the face.
Yeah.
I should see contact improve and direction. So lots of benefits.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what I do is just make a couple of swings for me,
Yeah.
full swings, but feel like the club head really almost delivers. It won't pass the hands.
Mhm.
Feel like the club head just kind of works a little bit past the hands on the way through. I'll give you a couple of drills you can do that will help you with this. So whenever you're ready, just hit a couple for me.
Yeah.
Just letting your hands just work a little bit past your hands a little more. Okay. Now, if you start to close the club face, we'll talk about that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So and again, so you've got to keep the body moving. Got to keep the club head working. So I'm looking for a change of launch on this. Nice little draw.
Yeah, they all felt pretty slappy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they all felt quite nice in terms of how I was impacting the ball. It all felt
Yeah,
like
that's okay. So there's
stuff.
another adjustment we've got to make here to help you with this. Okay, so they're coming a bit out of the bottom, aren't they? So you're letting the club head work,
Yeah.
and now we've got to accommodate ball position for that.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'd quite like to do, I'm going to experiment a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
I want you just to move the ball position slightly ahead of centre. So you've got 7-iron,
Yeah.
okay? Now, because the ball is further forward, you're going to have to move through it.
Yeah.
But I want you to move through it and let the club head work past your hands.
Am I setting up to the ball or setting up where I
No,
know
set up to the back of the ball. But obviously, I'm just going to put an alignment stick in here just so we can keep this nice and neutral, actually.
Yeah.
Just so we're not. So, there we go. So that's now playing only a couple of balls. I've gone quite a long way. A couple of
Yeah.
balls inside your left heel. So again, I'm just experimenting for a minute. So you've got
Still the same feeling.
still the same feel, let the club head
Right.
work through. But now you've got to keep moving through it as well. Good. Yeah. So we'll have a look at that on the launch numbers. So if you go, so yeah. So if you have a little look here.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing is that the launch has gone up to like 18,
Yeah.
almost 19, which is great. Spin's gone up a little bit as well. It was a little bit off the toe,
Yeah. I like that.
but only 4 millimetres low of the equator.
Okay.
So that's good. Okay. So we've gone ball position slightly forward. I want you to let the club head release past. Yeah, that's okay with that. Okay. Just going to take a couple of hits just to get familiar with a slightly more forward ball position.
It was nice. It didn't really touch the floor at all.
No, that's okay. We'll help with that in a second.
I felt like
But
a
delivery was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, delivery went up there. Sorry, it just trapped the ball. It's gone 1 yard. Okay, so again, we're just not quite getting that club onto the floor, are we?
No.
You're starting to deliver it better, and I'll quickly show you.
So do I need to, do you want me to move a bit more through, or what?
Well, I'll
Or
quickly show you. So if I just show you these here. So if you look at your angle of attack there, you can see how you were at 8 degrees before. You hit
Yeah.
down 8 degrees.
Yeah.
Because you're letting the club head work past a little bit,
Yeah.
you're not dragging the hands that way as much.
Mm-hmm.
You're now hitting, still down,
Yeah.
but hitting down to what I would expect.
Okay.
Okay, which is good. So you've got to think about what we've done. We've moved the ball position forward. We've got you letting the club head pass a little bit more.
Yeah.
So now we've got to move the body onto the ball. Okay, so we've got to make sure that we're in a place when we hit this golf ball that you're over it and not up out of it.
Okay.
Okay, so the feeling I want you to go with is you're still going to let the club head release,
Yeah.
okay? Because you don't want to drag the hands forward. You want to let the club head swing down into the ball, but you've got to stay within the shot. Your
You're
back-
going a bit higher.
Your bad one is when you come out of it, but that's because when your hands drag forward, the body it's
Has
causing
to get
effect.
out of the way,
It's got to
yeah.
get out of the way. Which might be that kind of feeling of you feeling like you get a bit stuck, especially with the driver. So what I want you to experiment with here is I want you to stay over it,
Yeah.
but let the club head release. So you're staying in posture.
Yeah.
That should get that club down into the right part of the ground. Okay? So you're just going to feel a bit more over it, really. You're going to feel like you're almost staying over the shot. Good. Okay, that's going to get the club lower. You can then let the club head release. Good. Okay, don't need to overhit it. Try and stay in posture, let the club head release through with that slightly more forward ball position which you've got there. Good. So you've lost your balance a little bit there.
Yeah.
Why?
I guess I'm just getting more weight through compared to what I'm used to doing.
Yeah, 100%. So again, you've hit 5, so that's a good example there, really good example there, Paul. You've hit 5 degrees down instead of 8. Club path was really neutral. Launched at 19.5, which is
Yeah.
what I'd expect for a 7 iron. Pretty solid. You've only cooled it 3 millimetres low. That was solid. Yeah, so you see here, like strike location there.
Yeah.
See how it's more in the middle?
Yeah.
That was great. Did you feel a bit more turf then?
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely, even on the practicing, it felt like more of a golf shot.
Absolutely, mate. Good. Nice ball like that.
Yeah, I felt like
Beautiful. I'll go a bit further because that was right at the screws. Yeah, 160 up to, oh, that's a long 7 on that. Yeah, launched at 18, only hit forward 4.5 degrees down. The reason it's drawn a little bit,
Yeah.
remember what we said earlier about that face to path number?
Yeah.
So you can see your face to path was slightly closed, which is why you got that slight draw shot and we're talking 8 yards.
And what with the end of the shot being closed, what was it most due to? Was it due to club path or was it due to?
No, the club face just squared up.
It was nice and square.
So in regards to, if you think about a white line,
Yeah.
so when your club came through, it was square,
Yeah.
okay? It wasn't open
Yeah.
and it wasn't closed. If your club face was closed, it impact, that ball would have finished over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah? But remember what I said, when you drag the hands forward, that's going to keep the club face open, that ball would have finished over here. Yeah, like you can see these ones over here.
Yeah.
Okay? You can see when you get it right,
Yeah.
big distance increase as well. That was a really good swing. Really, really top swing that. Love it.
I felt even better when
Yeah, love it, mate. Quality job. Yeah, 165 carry up to 180 with the 7 iron. Launched at 17, fraction low, but still good. Long angular attack, 5 degrees down.
Where do we want to get this angle of attack? Do
Uh,
we want to get higher or lower?
So we don't want it to go down to like 6, 7, 8 degrees. 5 is about your sweet spot. 4 degrees, 5 degrees down.
So you still need a bit more hand release on the way through.
Brilliant, brilliant, yeah. But remember, if you start to release the hands that like too much,
Yeah.
see your face angle there was again square. This might start to go 2 degrees closed in the face angle.
Yeah.
So you might start to close it by 2 degrees and then you're over here.
So if I have these big pulls, it might not be due to the left shoulder, it might be just releasing hands.
You're moving the body well.
Okay.
The work you've done, getting that left shoulder out of the way, getting it, staying within yourself, is really good.
Okay.
But this is why in here now, you want to utilise this data to start to see more of a consistent ball flight, which I believe is a little draw for you.
Yeah, that's what I want.
So you've struck it all right.
Yeah, interesting to find out why it went that way.
So let's have a look at the data there. Yeah, there we go. So you can see, so exactly what I was sort of saying just a minute ago. Because you've actually released the right hand too much, yes,
You've gone below the 4
you've gone below that kind of 4 or 5 degrees threshold, and then the club face starts to close.
Yeah.
So then you end up with missing it 30 yards left.
Yeah.
So it's quite, this is a good one to practice because it's all about getting the timing of the release. You know, there's no shortcut for this. It's about understanding how you've got to let that right hand deliver, and that's subconscious a lot of the time. It kind of happens just through practice. But we can see a direct link here that because you've now gone a bit the other way,
Yeah.
the club face is closable. If this number were to go to 8 degrees, which is what you were doing before,
Yeah.
chances are the club face would open up
Okay.
and you'd link it right. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, let's go again. Again, don't overthink the right hand coming through. It will start to come through a bit more natural anyway. Make sure you're staying over it, let the right hand release. It's a great golf shot.
Probably completely switched off from the hat and just thought about getting the weight
Love
forward.
it. Probably one of your best of the day. 160 carry, 170 total. There we go. So if you look at your face to target, 0.0.
Yeah, nice.
Launch was at 18 degrees. You've hit 5 degrees down, which is in that sweet spot. Mate, that's first class.
Yeah, felt good.
And you can see, like, I know you were just warming up earlier, but you know you're up probably another 10 yards because you're starting to control the club face
Yeah.
and you're not hitting down as much. And if I just quickly, good way to see this, if I do a little comparison from, so if I'm just going to take out the early ones when we were just getting to do different things. And if I work off the last, there we go, last couple, and then just do a comparison. So you can see straight away, because you're using more loft, the launch angle's gone up.
Yeah.
See how the ball flight on the light blue line's gone a lot higher? So carry distance is a lot further. The ball flight is a slight little draw
Yeah.
instead of a bit of a push to the right. Carry's gone up another 18, 17 yards.
Yeah.
Total distance has gone up another 15. If we look at the club data, so you're using a bit more loft,
Yeah.
bit impact. Face angle, instead of being 2.5 degrees open, has become 1.4 degrees closed. Path has stayed the same, but this is the big one.
Yeah.
Angle of attack has gone from almost 8 degrees to almost 5.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
all.
lock you in, mate. I'll go and get
It's right, bud. I've got my keys. So you can see, so a massive improvement there.
Yeah.
Strike's still a little low.
No.
That might be though, Paul, because we're hitting off a mat as well. We've got to bear that in mind.
Would it also have anything to do with the ball being quite far ahead of my stance?
Could be. Could be a little bit because you're going to be hitting it a little bit later. However, if that's the trade-off
Yeah.
for a higher launch, that you do catch it 3rd groove instead of 5th groove, I take that. Because you're still getting good launch and spin numbers on those clubs.
So out on the course, would you get me to play with me having the ball?
I
they
would.
want you
Yeah, I'd
okay.
go maybe a ball forward of what feels comfortable.
Okay.
But when you do that, just remember that you've got to let the club head release.
Yeah.
You've got to practice that because if you were to have the ball too far forward
Yeah.
and drag the hands forward, you're going to fat it.
Okay.
You're going to fat it big time.
You've got to let the hands.
You've got to let the club head not hit down as much. Yeah. Okay, let's go again. That's good. Really good. Sounded great.
Yeah, I felt this.
Beautiful launch on that. That launch has got to be up to 18, I would say. 18.1, yeah, good. Look at your face to target again there. 0.1. Yeah, it's a 6-yard draw. Beautiful, mate. Angle of attack 5 degrees down instead of 8. Really consistent.
That felt good.
Yeah, and again, good job there, mate. Love it. Oh, mate, that's first class, that is.
Yeah, that's it. Felt good.
Beautiful. So again, you look at the consistency of those last couple of shots there. 5 degrees down, face face the path was 0.8. It's a 3-yard draw. Again, if I just show you look at the little collection area over here. Little drawing it a little further. We look at the strike location is a little higher, mate. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little higher, which is good. I didn't think it was, but it is. You know, if we look at the consistency on those last couple, launch angle has gone from 16, 13, 16, 14, 16 to 17, 18, 18, 16, 17, 18, 19. Right? Distance has gone from 150 carries to 160 carries, 165s, to 155, 165. Club face, or face the path even, starting to neutralise. A couple that have got a little closed. We know why that happened. Okay. Angle of attack has gone from 8 degrees, 7, 7, well 8, 8, 8, 6 to 5, 5, 5, little low, 5, 5, 5. It's consistent, isn't it? Really good, mate.
Yeah, that's really good.
Love it. So again, there's a couple of key points there. Nothing, you're doing lots of good things. I would almost kind of, again, just park to one side stuff we've done before. A lot of that's happening. I'd now be looking at making sure ball position's in the right place, slightly ahead of what felt comfortable before. Letting the club head release a bit more. Yeah, but not to the extent that you release it and hook it left.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
I haven't really done any of those, apart from one was
There's one there.
too bad.
But even that one that went, even that one that went, even that one that went 5 degrees left. Oh, sorry, club face was 5 degrees left. Still playable. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. So again, working letting that club head release, and then staying over it. You know, I think coming out of posture. You know, when you were out of posture through impact, that was where the hands were dragging forward.
Yeah.
And then you're up and out of it. Whereas now you're a bit more over it, letting the club head release. Good job. I mean, you pulled it a touch, but again,
it felt so nice.
but it's not the end of the world now.
Yeah.
You know, that's left side of a green, 175 yards, gone a bit further because you pulled it.
Yeah.
And again, all that is there, you've sort of dropped to the lower end of the optimum launch attack angle.
Yeah.
So you've gone to 4 degrees. Okay, it's not the end of the world. But the face is just then closed a smidge, which is why we've missed it a little left to target.
Yeah. So not those, is it?
It's not huge. Okay. I think how many yards across a green is.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm trying to get my weight through a bit more.
Yes.
Still 10 hands, I think. Right.
Yeah, so that one there, I think where you've tried to get your weight through it a bit more, you can see there, you've hit a bit more down into it.
Oh yeah, 1.7.
Angle attack, 6 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just hit a smidge too far down, which has just brought the launch down a little bit. So the ball's launched
So
a
if
little.
I'm going to get the weight through, I need to still wet the hands or just
Yeah,
less
still
weight
let.
through?
No, just I wouldn't overthink about getting your weight through because you're doing that pretty good. You know, for me, it's more about making sure that you stay over it, letting the handle, letting the club
When you
head
say
release.
just staying low,
Yeah,
a bit of something,
yeah, sort of staying in posture.
Okay.
Yes, or stay low, whatever way you want to think about it.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like we said, let the club head just release that a little bit more. Fine. I think we draw back. A little bit off, little bit toe strike. Sounded a little toey to me.
Yeah, it felt like
Something
I came more from inside, but then the connection wasn't quite there. So maybe the hands maybe got a bit distinct.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's an interesting one because the face opened a little bit there. Yeah, you called it a little toey, which could open the face a smidge.
So
Not bad,
by
though.
releasing the hands a little bit more, that cause.
Yeah, that help you square it up a little bit, but don't flip the hands at it. Just
Yeah.
let the club head just gradually start to come back to that setup position now. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful golf shot. Just fraction down on distance there, maybe a little bit off the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a fraction low. Face was okay, a little open. But again, you're hitting not as far down into it, which is great.
That one's the angle of attack or the one attack?
The angle of attack.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've hit still down into that, but again you've launched it at 20 degrees, which for me is on the higher side of launch,
Yeah.
which is good. Okay. And again, this is I think this is really important for your par 3 game as well, because you by flighting it up or launching it higher, it's going to drop with more descent.
Okay.
So I don't know what your descent angles were before. So the ball was coming down from the air. Yeah. So if you look here, so your descent angle before, you had 30 degrees of descent, 34, 37, 34, 40 degrees. Okay. Whereas you look at these now, 43 degrees of descent, 41, 30, 40, 41. See that one? That was yeah, see they're all sort of
Yeah.
40s, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means you're going to get more stopping power on the green,
Yeah.
which is again great for
Yeah.
peppering the pin, isn't it? It means you don't have to allow the ball to run up. Little fat.
My brain was thinking about the noise.
Like the doorbell.
Yeah. It's just this funny film which has a doorbell in. Another film on it. Have you seen it?
Is it a horror film?
No, it's called oh, was it from when they're walking? It goes ding, ding. It's called it's a piss take of all like the hood movies.
Oh, is it?
And then it goes like a white person walking, it goes ding, chunk, ding, and then the black girl goes ding. And then the person comes out the shop. Every time we hear.
We have that's a new doorbell because our one broke.
Oh, okay.
It's got it's like a million ringtones, like literally
Oh,
so many
like
ringtones,
ringtones.
and that was the only one that was like sort of
Sort of normal.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, go on again.
That felt very nice.
Sounding good. Yeah.
A little bit
This
over.
looks good. Yeah, a little bit over it, but again, 170 carries. Sorry, 170 total, 160 carry. Wait, that's spot on that. Good. So again, launches at 18, you've hit 4 degrees down, face was square.
So if I'm kind of getting this, I feel like I'm quite consistently hitting a little bit left now.
Little draw.
Do I need? Is it a draw or is it a slight?
No, it's a little draw mate, because we're aiming straight,
Okay.
and then it's drawing off your target line. If the ball were to be starting over here,
Yeah.
right? So if it were to start, where are we? Somebody's taking the push pull off. Apparently. So, oh, didn't see that. Sorry, I didn't save it. Column 2, push pull. Okay. So, if that push pull number at the bottom probably starts more than 2 degrees left, then that's when it'd be like a pull hook.
Yeah.
Yeah? But because the ball is starting fairly straight to your target and then drawing off your target, it's a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah? So logically, if I quickly borrow your club,
Yeah.
so if I were to want to hit a bit of a draw, so all you do then is you just move your alignment
Yeah.
a couple of degrees right at target, and then you try and hit that. You then hit that. I don't know how to draw, but then you draw it back onto your target line.
Yeah.
You see? So if you start to find that naturally you're kind of getting that draw shot, which I'm seeing here, you know, we can see that
little cluster here,
Yeah.
that little dual shot, you just maybe start to aim slightly right of target
Mhm.
and then trust that draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a bit of that in a minute. We'll get you onto a bit of golf in a minute. So, are you happy with that for the minute?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You mentioned tee shots. You struggle
Yeah,
with it.
like-
You'd be struggling a bit.
Anything like I used to use this quite a lot, and this, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a bit of a mess.
Okay. I'm just going to put a single dot on here for the minute.
Yeah.
Just so I can see where we are. I want you to try and apply the same principles.
Yeah.
Okay. What tees you use, mate?
Yeah. These ones.
Yeah, all the purple ones the same size.
Are they?
Yeah, those plastic ones. So let's change this up to the driver.
Yeah.
Put it in. Yeah, you're good. Got plenty of room, mate. Good. No, I mean, honestly, you've got plenty of room. You're not going to hit anything. So again, slightly forward than what you're used to.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you want to be hitting more up here, don't you?
Yeah.
Which is where we tilt the shoulders. You know, you make sure that you are letting the club head release. Okay. So let's just see you hit a couple with the driver there, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty solid distance, 250. It's definitely hitting up into it, which is good.
Floor.
And is that something you will get?
Just super consistent, right?
Yeah.
All the time, like left, right.
Yeah, cool. Fine. Just going to get rid of that stick. Sorry, it's stick. Bit off the toe, maybe?
It felt like maybe my club path was that way, my club face was.
Yeah, okay. So club path was so this is the big one. So just gonna I haven't got the club face data coming through on the driver because I've only got the one dot on there, but I know what club face does anyway. But if we have a look at your look at your club path with your irons compared to your driver.
Which one's the drivers?
I'll show you in a second. So club path into out, 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 into out. Okay.
Yeah.
Driver, out in, out in, out in.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Horrible.
So for me, this is your big issue
Mm-hmm.
because you can't control the club face if the path is off.
Yeah.
Whereas we could work on controlling club face and controlling launch angle and stuff because your path was so good within your irons. Okay? So the question is, why are we swinging that club so far out to in?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to throw a question at you. What do you think you might be doing to make the club swing, on average, 5 degrees up?
Yeah, probably just too much weight on the left side.
Okay. What do we say? We talked about shoulder position. The other thing I'd maybe recommend you do, sorry, let me talk about that first. So shoulder position, we want to make sure we're staying squarer, because as soon as we start to spin open,
Yeah.
that's when the club starts to work out from out to in. The other thing would be actually thinking about the direction of delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So that push-pull number down at the bottom we talked about,
Yeah.
I'd actually want you to try and start that ball 3 or 4 degrees right of that white line.
Mm-hmm.
So if I would say to you, I want you to hit a drive for me, you might just have to bring the ball back a little bit, mate. Yeah, just bring it back a little bit. So if I would say to you, I wanted you to start the ball without aiming there with your feet,
Yeah.
I want you to start the ball over to the right. I don't care if it curves right or curves left.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is try and get that ball impacting over here. Okay? So, whatever you try and do, don't need to be a full swing. Whatever you want to do, you can do a full swing if you want. Okay, good.
Quite nice.
So what did you try and do there, maybe consciously or maybe subconsciously? What do you feel you happened there? Because you'll see that, if you look at that push-pull, 4 degrees right, perfect. What did you do there?
Yeah, I felt very much, even as setup, I get to, as long as I have my own coach in my head, that yeah, chest that way,
Good.
deliver through there. It
Beautiful.
felt, I definitely came out the middle of the club there
Absolutely.
compared to what I've been doing recently.
Should we have a look at your club path on that?
Yeah.
0.1. So you can see, if we look at your ones before, (6 degrees out to in, 3.5 out to in, 5.5 out to in.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, it felt a lot.
Now that's really important because once you start to get that,
Mm-hmm.
you can then start to control the club face as we've been doing
Yeah.
at the islands. You can let the club head release through, you can start to get things squared up,
Yeah.
start to maximise what we're doing. Okay, so again, I want you to try and, that push-pull number, 3 or 4 degrees right of that line. Hit it there. Good drive.
Yeah, I feel like I'm sat back way nicer on my
Love it.
hip back leg as well.
And that's exactly what I'm seeing there. I'm seeing that you're more in a position to let the club deliver. Look at your club path, 0.8.
Yeah.
Hitting nicely up into it. Okay? One more foot.
It feels like I'm actually getting a golf shot now. Before it just felt like.
Yeah, I can see it. You know, you're so over the top of it. That way.
Just yeah, it feels smooth. Both of the last two when I've hit it, just felt like the ball should be drawing. I know it hasn't done.
But we'll talk about why in a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
You know, it follows on from what we did before. Good.
Bit of floor.
Little bit of flaw, wasn't it?
It's got
But-
a nice shape.
But it's good. You know, it's good. It's 230. Yeah, what a full swing. But again, club path, 0.5.
Yeah.
You know, we compare the last 3 to the first 3. (6 degrees out to in, 3.5, 5.5, 0.1, 0.8, 0.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
How quickly something can change.
Absolutely.
Process, isn't it?
But part of this, mate, is it's understanding it,
Yeah, definitely.
which is where the data helps as well. Because, like I said, as I said to you in the buggy, I want to see if we could change the numbers that I was seeing,
Yeah.
the bad numbers that I was seeing now when in the fitting.
Yeah.
I you know, in the fitting, you were hitting down like 8, 9 degrees, and I'm like, jeez. Okay. Not that that changes the data, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that changes the club spec or anything like that. Mate, that's a pretty solid drive.
Maybe a bit low on the.
A little bit low and a little heely, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a little bit low hill, which is taking distance off. Club path was a little out to it,
Yeah.
not too bad. So the question is now, so
Yeah.
when we start to get that ball starting straighter,
Yeah.
or maybe slightly down the right hand channel,
Yeah.
so when that push-pull number gets to sort of 2, 3, 4 degrees this way, how are we then going to get the ball back online?
So this is why I think I've always struggled. Like whenever we tried to add a bit of shape into my swing,
Yeah,
it's. I'm not saying it's going to cause issues, but it's caused me to
turn it over.
have trouble.
Okay.
So I'm definitely game to keep working on. So I want to have that nice draw in the game, but I want any ways to understand it without, or what I need to keep, I guess, going back to if things go like,
Go wrong.
yeah,
So think about what we did with the irons. We created quite a nice consistent draw through
Yeah.
your irons because your club path was fairly neutral. It was
Yeah.
close to 0, which was brilliant. But then what we had to get get the face doing was squaring or slightly closing, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I'd like you to try is this one. I want to try and keep it as simple as possible. The swing thoughts with the irons, where we were letting the club head release through. I want you to have that same feeling, but obviously with the driver, I want you to physically feel like you're just hitting the ball over here.
Yeah.
So the movement should feel like you're delivering the club out there,
Mm-hmm.
but the club head is releasing back. Is that going to make sense?
So yeah, get the body facing like, let the hands
Release a bit more. Yeah, let the club head square up.
Yeah.
If you hit a couple of sort of real high draws doing this, it's fine for the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's give it a go. So again, what I'm looking for is effectively, Paul, that push-pull number
Yeah.
to be 2, 3, 4 degrees right,
Yeah.
and I'd be looking for side spin on the ball to be left instead of right,
Okay.
because that shows that we've got the club face
Yeah.
or the face to path slightly closed.
Yeah.
Okay. There
A
we go.
little bit of the floor.
A little bit ground first. However, let's see if you've achieved what we wanted you to do.
Yeah.
Push pull was 1.6 degrees to the right, and you had 900 spin to the left, which is good. Well done. Okay, there we go. So this is going to take refinement,
Yep.
but I promise you, if you do this, you will not hit it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like your irons. You'll end up just hitting that sort of draw shot, which
So
is
then let the club face move through.
let the club head go through. Yeah, you got it. You know, don't need to be super relaxed with it. You don't have control over it. Okay, so again, started right, let the handle work. Okay, so that one there, we should have the club face open. Yeah, we definitely did. So the club face held open. You started the ball right at target.
Yeah, I felt like that bit was good.
Yeah, and you can see the club path. Club path was a little bit outswing, just a fraction. But face was miles open.
Left spin, right, yeah, right.
Right hand spin, yeah, it curved miles right. Okay, so the first objective is to get the club path moving to the right.
Yeah.
Second objective, well, it's not right, it's keeping the club path on line, but for you it's the feeling of getting that, starting that ball over there,
Yeah.
and then working the club face back to a position which helps. And that's same as the iron feel. I'll tell you what, mate, that's not a bad golf swing. So it started a bit right, which is good.
Yeah, 5 degrees.
It just, I didn't quite, it stayed straight.
Yeah, there's not much
Side spin. No, and if you look at the ball flight, there's no curve to it. It's just, it's a
Yeah.
push. It's fine. It's not the world that way. That one started left of target. So that's the, so you got the face turning square,
Yeah.
but you'll see the path to go out to it. There we go, 3.5 degrees out to it. Face was closed. It was a good strike. Just very quickly, experiment. Get that. Right?
Right.
Same feel, started down the right side.
frustrated by that. Okay, so if you look at that push-pull number, 2.4 right, so that's great. It's moved 2 yards right in the air. Do you feel you have to do much with your hands there?
Not really sure.
Okay, yeah, another one for you, that.
No.
Switch. So what I put, the reason what, all I put you into there, mate, just very quick to try,
Yeah.
it's a draw bias head.
Okay.
So instead of having to like let the hand, you still got to let the hands work a little bit,
Yeah.
but instead of really trying to let the club head square up, kind of does it for you. It's interesting.
I feel like I set a bit like this.
Nothing wrong with Missing it. Missing it. Like I say, the dual bias, I guess what I'm getting at is technology can help.
Yeah.
But for me, the big thing you've got to do is keep, first and foremost with your driver here, you've got to get the club path closer to zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you start to swing it 6 degrees, 5 degrees, 4 degrees, 3 degrees, out to in, so over here, you're struggling.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to hit a straight golf shot or draw. We can't hit a draw from the club swinging this way. You know, you've got to get this closer to zero,
Yeah.
and then we effectively would have to get the club face, yeah, slightly closed,
Yeah.
to hit that little draw. Just jump out that thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, the draw bias would help you with the closing of the face, but
I feel like I can
get the swing
I've
on.
got that feeling of the shoulder where I need to be at the shoulder,
Yeah.
so that's good.
Good. That's absolutely fine, mate.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a little bit of a push.
Interesting to find out. Yeah, the shoulder felt good, although that push pulled
Yeah.
1 degree.
Yeah, 1 degree, a little bit of right hand spin on it, but it's playable, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
right hand side of a fair with that.
Yeah. Yeah, distance is tight. I just need to be consistently over 200.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at your carries today with the drivers, what we today with the carries were, yeah. So 228, miss hit, 208, 205, 204, 209, 205. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, you're going to get better distance if you hit a straighter ball.
Yeah.
And again, that comes from not cutting across it. So feeling like you hit it more down that right hand side. And then obviously making sure that you let the club head release back.
So what, I feel like I'm getting this bit right. What,
Yep.
what wording would you use to get the club, to make the club
So,
more close? Is that what we want, more close?
yeah, more
The club
close.
face?
Yeah, definitely. So this is
I
where
feel
I'm.
like I'm not.
This is where I'm a little bit in between because, and what I mean is, I feel if you can start to get the ball starting slightly down the right hand side,
Yeah.
naturally your hands will start to work better anyway. That's what I'm saying. Like
So aim more, like, so no, that was only 1 degree, so you think if I can hit it more hit that
if
hand
you get it more like 4 degrees,
Yeah.
then what will happen? So if you start the ball slightly right of target, we know your club face is going to get closer to zero. I think as you practice and work with this, you'll start to naturally let your hands release back anyway.
Yeah.
What I don't want to do is at the moment is get you overthinking it.
Yeah, I don't want to get not flicking my wrist.
No, exactly. If you hit little pushes for the minute, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I don't want is the big lefts or the big rights. Yeah. It's got to be. So, like I said, if you're struggling.
So almost if I'm playing at the moment, if I was going to say is I'd maybe set a little bit left with the aim to be that nice 4 degrees right, except it probably is going to turn over just a little
If
bit.
it turns over a
more.
little bit, you're okay.
Yeah.
But again, the chances are, as you practice, you'll start to turn it back and draw it anyway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hit one more for me.
Yeah.
Again, you've got the club to
push ball number's going to be there slightly. Come on, Aston.
great distance.
Yeah, it felt I felt like I really tried to.
Started it a little left, but you did get the club. Look, only
Yeah.
yeah. So that was only 500 worth of side spin. So that was draw spin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I reckon we could have got it started a little bit more to the right.
Yeah.
But again, that's still a pretty good golf shot there, mate. I'd be happy with that on the golf course.
So how have I managed to get the club more left, but I've had less, the club path is more in to out?
So for me, the big one there is probably, it's where we get down into the depths of it. It's probably where it comes down to the direction that your hands go.
Okay.
So effectively, your hands have gone, so the club path's gone out to in, club path is neutral. You've put draw spin on it, so the face would have been slightly closed. Yeah, so effectively the club face would have been closed.
Okay.
Club face has quite a big influence on starting direction. So the reason, you've actually made a really good swing there, but where you've just got the club face a little bit too closed,
Yeah.
hence the big draw, it's just moved the start line from here to here.
Yeah.
If you had had a square club face there, the ball would have started probably here
Yeah.
and stayed quite slightly at draw. But because you've closed the club face quite a bit,
Yeah.
that's moved the start line from here to here. Because club face has a big influence on starting direction. But saying that, even though it has drawn quite a bit, and it started only 1.2 degrees left, so it started straight, pretty much. You have got the club path in a pretty good direction.
30 degrees I find isn't too bad, I guess.
No, but that's something to be worked on there.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, just to finish off with, mate, we've got
Yeah.
5 minutes or so. Let's chuck you onto just a random hole on a random golf course.
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know what hole this is. I've just clicked a random course.
So let's try it.
Okay, so quite a good one. So par 4, 416 yards.
Yeah.
Kinsale Golf Club. Crackle down the right hand side. A little bit of leeway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't really go left. Okay. So again, I want you to try and play that shot. So I want you to try and start the ball sort of right edge of the bunker. See that bunker there?
Yeah.
I want you to try and start the ball there. So you're going to really make sure you hit it towards that point. If it stays there, you're okay. If it draws back in the middle of the fairway, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. So you cut across that. Do you feel your body come over the top of it? Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's done alright. It's not perfect though. Yeah, look at your club path, 5.9 out to win.
Yeah. Right.
Ball started 7 degrees left of target. Do you want to hit that again?
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the fairway, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, what was that? That was 40 yards offline, it's still on the fairway. But it's not ideal. It's not the shot we're looking to play.
No.
Go on again. So I want you to make sure you're starting that ball. So you see the T marker on the right?
Yeah.
I want you to try and hit it into that.
And then this one.